Hi, I'm James, a psychology student at UNE, and I'm going to briefly talk about what the current yet limited research says about mental toughness and how it relates to exercise and performance in sports. Most of us know that to perform well in sports or to achieve success in any exercise program, we'll encounter many challenges, some of these challenges coming from within. In order to push your pain barrier or to keep striving in adverse circumstances, mental toughness is required in order to prevail. Mental toughness is a term that most of us have heard from a coach or peer, but what is it? Well, early thoughts on mental toughness were all based on anecdotal evidence from applied work with athletes and coaches without any real scientific evidence to support these views. So how would we currently best define mental toughness? Mental toughness can be described as having a natural or psychological edge that enables us to cope better than your opponents with the demands that a sport or activity places on you, and to be more consistent and better than your opponents in remaining determined, focused, confident, and in control under pressure. Another view on mental toughness is based around the trait of hardiness, which is described as having the ability to view negative experiences as challenges that can be overcome and are controllable. Also, people possessing hardiness are very committed to achieving their goals. In 2002, when Clough and Associates added confidence to these three existing factors of hardiness, a definition of mental toughness, termed the 4Cs of mental toughness, was developed. As mentioned previously, they are challenges, controlling, both in respect to negativity, committed, with the addition of confidence. Around the same time, a subsequent study published by Jones and Associates determined a number of attributes that can further describe the characteristics of mental toughness. Let's consider what these qualities may be. Firstly, you need the self-belief that you possess unique qualities and abilities that make you better than your opponents, and to have the self-belief to achieve your competition goals. You also need to have a great desire and motivation stemming from within to succeed, as well as the ability to bounce back from setbacks as a result of your ability to succeed. Another characteristic of mental toughness is being able to tolerate emotional and physical pain, yet still maintain technique and effort in stressful circumstances. Accepting that competition anxiety is inevitable and believing that you can cope with it is another trait of being mentally tough, as is not being adversely affected by the performances of teammates, good or bad. When unexpected or controllable events present themselves, you need to be able to maintain or at least regain physiological control of yourself. While on the topic of maintaining control, you need to be able to switch sports focus on or off as required, and when it is on, be able to thrive under competition pressure and remain fully focused on the task at hand. Additionally, you must remain focused when personal distractions may arise. A recent example of maintaining focus is the Cameron Smith-Alex McKinnon drama that popped up and played out in the media preceding State of Origin 3. Smith copped a lot of criticism for his handling of the McKinnon injury, with some claiming he was insensitive with how he dealt with the incident. However, he didn't let these personal issues affect his preparation for such an important event. He no doubt dealt with anxiety and emotional pain leading into the decider, yet dealt with these uncontrollable and unexpected events, and on the game night he believed in himself and thrived under extreme, intense competition pressure, captaining Queensland to victory. Okay, now that we've described the characteristics of mental toughness, how does it develop? Well, mental toughness develops in three stages. In the early years, positive parental influences are paramount, and the focus is on skill mastery, enjoyment, socialisation, and discipline. In the middle years, coaches should set up environments that challenge and expose teenagers to a range of situations to enhance development of mental toughness. And in the later years, we focus on refining learnt mental toughness skills as we are exposed to tougher performance environments. In a recent study in rugby league comparing professional players at 3 different levels, it found that a higher level of competition, the higher the level of mental toughness was, particularly at international level. International players possessed all 4 C's of mental toughness that I described previously, and were also able to maintain focus for longer and better control negative energies than players in the 2 tiers below. One method of developing mental toughness is the use of psychological skills training, which uses techniques such as arousal and anxiety control, imagery, mental rehearsal, and goal setting, which are further things that you may wish to investigate. Now let's outline 4 themes of where mental toughness is developed, so you can be mindful of how this may occur. Firstly, in sporting processes, such as training, club events, or competition. Secondly, by sporting personnel we are surrounded by, including teammates, coaches, opponents, or even sports psychologists. Thirdly, by non-sporting personnel, such as parents, siblings, and friends, who all shape who we are. And lastly, from environmental influences, such as family and training environments. Interestingly, genetic factors can determine a person's mental toughness. Because mental toughness is heritable, it may be more difficult to strengthen or modify than first thought, but it certainly can be taught, as I mentioned before, with certain components of mental toughness, such as commitment and control being easier to strengthen due to lower heritability of these characteristics. Well, this concludes my outline of mental toughness. I hope this video helped you understand the characteristics of mental toughness and how it is developed, and that you may be a little more aware of its importance in exercise or sports performance, especially if your goal is to be an elite performer in your chosen sporting arena.